This Climbing the Mountain podcast is brought to you by Encova Insurance. Hard work and passion are critical components of any winning strategy. Count on Encova Insurance as your local team to provide peace of mind. Welcome into Climbing the Mountain, a video podcast all about the 2022 WVU football season, brought to you by Encova Insurance and Country Roads Trust, West Virginia's name, image, and likeness team. I'm Amanda Mazey. He is Darius Stills. And Darius, let's just be honest. It sucked last week to lose to Pitt, but it's Kansas this week. It's a Big 12 opener. We're going for a conference championship. A lot is on the line this week.
Of course, but y'all, you can't dwell on the past. The game happened, but it did turn out how we wanted to. But at the end of the day, you got to keep moving forward, and we're going to do that.
Exactly. All right. Well, let's welcome in now defensive coordinator Jordan Lesley. Coach, thanks so much for joining us. That 38-31 loss to Pitt, like I said, it sucked. We all know it sucked. It sucked for you guys and the players more than anybody, but you have to take away a lot of positives. On the defensive side of the ball, you had 5 new starters. 3 of those guys, Aubrey Burks, Marcus Floyd, and Lee Koba, combined for 22 tackles. They led the team. So a lot of positives out of that game to take into this week's Big 12 opener.
Yeah, the biggest positive for me was how we played. Thought we played hard. Thought we played physical. The 2 things we knew we had to do. The mistakes were they're all on me as far as having new starters and having certain things you're trying to adjust to throughout the game. Things that you didn't see. Had a key injury there early, and so we spent the majority of 3 quarters adjusting to things that were going on. And sometimes that's not fair to when you have new starters. That's not necessarily what they're ready to do. And so, I have to do a better job of finding things within that. And that's really hard against a team like Pitt. They're a good football team. And but I was proud of the way we played, how we played. And like Darius said, we got to move forward. It's hard when you play a rival game one. You have all these things going on, all the things leading into this game. But just so much film to learn from, and you got to take it and go on.
Speaking of injuries, how is Charles Woods?
I haven't got an update, not today. I think he's going to be fine, but we'll see.
Gotcha.
Yeah, I believe the defense showed a lot of fight for sure. Always, like you being a defensive line coach and going to the defensive coordinator. Ever since you've been here, defense showed a lot of fight, and you guys preach that. There's going to be adversity. They're going to make plays. It's both 2 good football teams. But I just believe you guys held your own. You guys adapted to the adjustments you guys had, and everybody stepped up. They stepped up when they needed to.
Yeah, I think. And Darius, you know this. It's especially defensively. Everything's about response. You're not. I don't believe in, you try your best as a coach to coach it, but I've never have believed in mistake-free football. I don't think it exists. I don't think it's the nature of the game. You just try to eliminate mistakes that are based on effort and physicality, and if you can do those and fix your communication, those are the 3 things we've always talked about here is effort, communication, physicality. If we can do those 3 things, we'll be fine. And we had our chances, and we didn't get it done. There's reasons why we didn't get it done, and if we fix those, then we're going to be fine. So, and then as much it's about our response this week. We respond this week, get the season going the way we want it to. We'll be okay.
All right, let's talk about this week's opponent. You are opening up the Big 12 fairly early, week 2. It's Kansas. They blew out Tennessee Tech 56-10. And they held the opposing offense to under 100 yards passing and 200 total yards of offense, something they haven't done since 2010. So let's talk about this Kansas offense coming into this game and what you're expecting.
Yeah, so I told the guys as soon as in the locker room after the game Thursday that I've had this one circled for a long time because of the emotional highs and lows, no matter how the brawl turned out. If you win, you're really high. If you lose, emotionally, you hope you get to where you need to be. So I've had this one circled for a long time, and I'll give you a little history on why. This is the coaching staff that was at University of Buffalo. We played them in the 2017 Dollar General Bowl in Mobile, and they had about 4 or 5 NFL guys. I can't remember if they were draft picks, but they got into camps on that team. One was a quarterback who looked like a power forward. He's like 6'7", 260. And I remember playing that team and watching them on film. And just they were very detailed in what they did. They played extremely hard, and their scheme was unique, and it fit their personnel. Well, guess what? That's the same staff that's at Kansas, and so they've done the same thing there. They're very effective in what they do. They play extremely hard. They get you in some situations, formation and motion wise, that can create some issues. And so, and our defensive staff will tell you, it's like the entire year leading up to spring ball, I was like, that's the game. You know, that's the one that we've got to be ready for. It's that one. And so I've had it circled for a long time. You know, we've got our adversities with Wesley and getting into our DB depth chart right out of the gate. So, but that's the nature of the game. So, you know, I'm just ready to get to Saturday. Been a good 2 days of prep. Been a lot that goes into prepping for a team like this, especially on our side of the ball. And so by the time we get to here, I'm just ready to get it on video, practice-wise, correct it, you know, really start eliminating things, and then get to Saturday. You know, but if we respond, we'll be fine. But I've had this one on the radar way before the Pitt game.
Who would have ever thought you had Kansas circled?
Oh,
I
yeah.
mean, no disrespect to Kansas, not typically known
Correct.
as a great team in the Big 12, but they can surprise. They surprised Texas last year in Austin.
And I'll say this too, and I believe this with every bit of my fiber is that at the end of the 22 season, that people in college football will be talking about Kansas will be one of the most improved teams in the country. You watch what I'm telling you.
Yeah,
they will be.
I believe it.
Well, heard it here first. Yeah, everybody's excited for the season opener coming to West Virginia. I believe it was a home game, sort of, up in Pittsburgh. But the fans are excited to be back here. The stadium's going to be rocking. I'm excited to watch you guys. And Kansas has surprised a lot of teams every year. They surprise one or two teams in the Big 12. So, like you say, you just got to keep your head down, just respect them. And,
yeah, I mean, you got to be ready, especially in our league. You know this, Darius. I mean, you got to be ready every week. I think that this is one of the best environments here in college football is our home stadium, and I think they made that environment Thursday night one of the best. I've been to LSU, I've been to the Iron Bowl. I've been to some really good environments in college football, and that was what college football was all about. That was, I told our guys this. I hope they took a snapshot of it in their memory, because it was what college football is about. Now, the rivalry and the hatred there, and that's part of it. Like, but hopefully our fans are come out Saturday, and like I said, this is one of the toughest environments in college football to play in, and get it going.
Absolutely. All right, let's talk about the offensive side of the ball for West Virginia. JT Daniels lived up to everything of what at least the fans thought. What did you think of his performance on Thursday night, and what does he need to tweak, improve on heading into week 2?
Nothing. I think if he, what I saw more than anything was a guy that's tough, a guy that'll sit in there and deliver the football where it needs to be delivered, when it needs to be delivered, and that's hard. That's why that position is what it is. And a guy that can sit in there and do that, I liked his post-game press conference. Mm-hmm. That's what I enjoyed, more than anything was, hey, here's a guy, he'll own it and stand up for his teammates. And, that's one thing that I think, I know offensively that we've needed is a guy that can put on that hat and be that guy. And that's what I saw more than anything. I've been seeing it in practice. When we watch film that other people don't see, and so you see the placement of the ball, and it's hard to find guys that can put it in some spots he puts it. So it's exciting to see. It's exciting to see for guys like Bryce and Sam and those guys who are really good players, and need a guy that can put it where they can catch it.
Right.
Only they can catch it. And then have a guy that just commands, as one, everybody's always asking me, he's like, hey, if you ever become a head coach, what's the number one position? Hell, it's a quarterback. I'm a defensive guy, but it's a quarterback.
Right.
And I don't want a nice, you don't want a nice guy back there.
Right.
I want a guy that's a field general and commands the field and the team and the respect of it. And if you got that now, because you look at the best ones, you know, all time. That's what they are.
Right.
You know, they're not everybody's buddy. You know, everybody's friend. And so, and that's why I brought up that press conference. That's why I like that.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Because that goes a long way to get everybody going and for the rest of the season.
I thought he sounded very professional, very, had his emotions controlled. And I watched the interview like 3 or 4 times because, personally, I've never seen a college quarterback look that, emotionally controlled during an interview, especially after a loss like that, which gives me very much respect for him. He seems very professional. Just from when I see him around the building, he always looks like he's, on a mission to go somewhere, not just wandering around. So he seems like a professional quarterback to me. So.
He acts like a pro. That's the best way to put it.
All right, well, you are watching Climbing the Mountain, a video podcast, which is brought to you by Encova Insurance. Hard work and passion are critical components of any winning strategy. Count on Encova Insurance as your local team to provide peace of mind. So we saw what JT Daniels did in the air, the receiver, Sam Bryce. But let's talk about the ground game. CJ Donaldson just had this breakout game. Did you guys expect that from him?
Yeah, but had seen those things a couple of times in practice. And we talk about it all the time, like in the defense staff room, like you got to make a business decision when you tackle somebody like that, when you come downhill and that's a lot of guy coming at you. And, it's funny, the bigger backs in college football are so much, seem to be more effective now. Because I think it's just overall. I mean, you watch all it's really kind of shifted, especially Big 12 football has shifted from run and gun and spread and 5 wide and use the pass game to set up the run game, and now it's kind of gone to more of a run oriented. Most offenses are run oriented first. Game control, clock control, get to manageable third downs. Here we go. And bigger backs allow you to do that, and and everybody all week is. And I understand why, is going to ask me about tackling. And it's the nature of how you prepare it now. How often, how do you do it all the time? And most programs don't. If you watch the early part of college football over the weekend, you see it everywhere. Like everybody struggles with it because it's just like anything else. You don't practice it, you don't do it. And so I think what you see now with offenses is a lot of times is they understand that, and bigger backs are more effective, because guys in today's game struggle with tackling, quite honestly. And so we've been seeing that for a couple of weeks now. Really kind of saw that early on in summer workouts. A kid that was recruited to be an H/tight end / kind of a utility guy. I don't think anybody expected what we saw Thursday night, as far as the numbers. But I mean, good for that kid. Good for him. What a way to start your college career, and so good player.
Yeah, absolutely. Let's talk about a couple of the weapons that Kansas has. Their running back Devin Neal, solid back there, and then they have defensive end Lonnie Phelps, who was the Big 12 Defensive Player of the Week. He had 7 tackles, 3 sacks, and 4 tackles for loss in that game. So Kansas has some of their own weapons that you guys are going to have to prepare for.
Yeah, I mean, they have not only Devin. They have 3 other running backs. One we played against last year in the bowl game. One other was a Nebraska transfer. Another one is a kid that's been there. So they're 4 deep, and they use them all. The quarterback's one to watch for, Jalen Daniels.
Yeah.
Everybody sees him as a runner, but he can make plays on the run and locate the ball. He'll take some shots downfield. And is athletic enough to cause you some issues on the ground. And then their offensive line is again, here we are facing another group that's redshirt juniors and seniors because of COVID. So a lot of kind of this redundant theme we've seen in our league throughout the last 2 years with Oklahoma State, Baylor, some of those guys that have been really, really old because of that extra year. Well, now here we are with Kansas, same scenario, right tackle is a former tight end, athlete. Kid actually caught a 2-point conversion on us last year on a trick play. And those guys in that offense, they don't necessarily have to block you all the time. They can get in, and not necessarily get in your way, but kind of use their athleticism to shield you off. And so it makes it in their scheme that makes it really hard. You know, their tight ends. You know, everybody last year talked about Jared Casey, the former walk-on, but every time you flip on the film, you look up and he's making plays. Right. So, you know, it's no surprise watching this video this week because I've told everybody the entire time, like that team right there, especially offensively. It's usually just the side I watch. And so, you know, and last year all their momentum got rolling after Jalen Daniels become the quarterback, and they decided not to redshirt him. So that tells you what they think of him. So it's a huge challenge.
Yep, dangerous team. So
to me, it sounds like it's going to be another front seven box type of deal where they're going to try to run the ball, pound it down.
Yeah, they do. They try to want to try to shorten the ball game, limit possessions, very triple option-esque approach. Try to get it to third and a manageable down, which kind of limits your substitutions, your playbook, what you can do, and things that we like to do to try to create some things. But I mean, it's just like any other game. You know, you stop the run, you usually win. And everybody asked me about last week. You only give up 79 yards rushing. 2 key touchdowns were rushing touchdowns. So that still, I don't ever look at the yardage. I look at the key plays. They had a key run there coming out after the fumble. Pitt had a key run that got them down in the score zone. And we fit that far outside of where we should fit. And that's the margin for error against the football team. Man. So it's, still, I've always believed that you stop the run, you usually win the game. So this will be a game where we have to do that, and we'll have to use some creative ways to do that. So, but that's what they want to do.
All right. So night game. Have you ever been a part of a night game here?
5 o'clock.
5 o'clock. Closest. So 6 o'clock. Yeah. How exciting will that be just to have hopefully a full stadium? Everybody's going to be here. It's a night game. That's kind of fun. Good atmosphere? Or are you like, would you rather play earlier in the day when you can just like get it going?
No,
or do those night games throw things off, like just sitting around all day?
Yeah, it's I hate it as a coach, but I loved it as a player.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Like, I love the night games. That is the most upset I've ever seen him and some of those guys. Was COVID year. Mm-hmm. We were supposed to have the night game against Oklahoma.
Got canceled twice.
He got canceled twice, and we were.
He's
probably,
still bitter. He's still bitter.
Yeah.
We were playing. We were hitting our stride a little bit defensively there. So everybody, I remember whether the fans were limited or not, it was still going to be exciting. So we did have one. We just didn't get to play it.
Yeah.
But as a coach, I hate it because I'm sitting around just thinking all day. As a player, I loved it because I'm like, night games.
As a player, it sucks too because you're waiting all day.
Yeah.
It hits noon. You're like, damn, I should be playing right now. But then it's like, all right, I got 7 more hours. We got to wait around for that 3.5 hour period you get during the day. But,
I think the fans love the night games.
Yeah,
so
they can get tailgate more.
Well, Coach Lesley, we appreciate you joining us on Climbing the Mountain. Good luck. The road to the Big 12 Championship starts this Saturday, 6 p.m. against Kansas. Thanks so much for joining us.
Thank you guys for having me, and let's go Mountaineers.
Absolutely. All right, coming up next on Climbing the Mountain, Tony Mathis and Zach Frazier will be joining us right here in the studio. Don't go anywhere. This Climbing the Mountain podcast is brought to you by Encova Insurance. Hard work and passion are critical components of any winning strategy. Count on Encova Insurance as your local team to provide peace of mind. Welcome back to Climbing the Mountain, brought to you by Country Roads Trust and Encova Insurance, your one-stop shop for your home, auto, business, and life insurance needs. I'm Amanda Mazey. He's Darius Stills. We are now welcoming into the studio Tony Mathis and Zach Frazier. Guys, thank you so much for joining us. Sucks to lose a Pitt. We know that. But talk about just the atmosphere and being a part of that, the backyard brawl, the rivalry game, just from a standpoint of the atmosphere. What was that like for you guys?
Well, I thought it was pretty special just to, see all the fans that came out, and just that was one of the coolest games I've ever played in for sure. Just
Definitely
from
the loudest.
Yeah, for
Yeah.
sure the loudest.
Yeah.
Just to see the fans cheering so hard, and they really showed out. So
Definitely. The fans was that game, so it
Yeah.
was very important that they was there.
Can you guys hear when the West Virginia fans were chanting "Eat blank Pitt"? You
Yeah.
guys hear that?
yeah, for sure.
Is that pretty cool?
Yeah,
That's real cool.
Because you always hear it,
yeah.
around here, but then it's actually like the actual game where that originates. So we put the Pitt game behind us. It is Kansas. It is a Big 12 opener pretty early on this year. We had Coach Lesley on here, and he said that this game, Kansas, is one he's had circled because this can be a very dangerous team. This is not a team you should overlook.
For sure. I mean, they're from watching film, they're definitely, very talented. You definitely can't overlook any team, but especially this team. We definitely have to come out and all do our jobs and really just make sure, everyone, does their jobs and takes care of business. So
Everybody just focus on what they need to focus on, and everything should go great and smooth.
Yeah, y'all, like you guys were just saying, put some respect on every team. Kansas surprises the CFB every year. You feel me? They beat somebody that you don't think. So definitely go in this game respecting your opponent. Just from watching last game, you guys seemed more disciplined and have better chemistry. So you guys celebrate with each other. That's when you could tell if a team has chemistry or not. Somebody makes plays and how many people go to celebrate. So you guys are doing that. CJ had a touchdown. You went there and celebrated with him. You're happy for him. You're happy. You guys happy for each other. So like I said, I'm excited to watch you guys play this week. And y'all, I play with y'all. So I know what goes into this game, and I know what y'all was going through y'all's head. Especially you guys have practice in like an hour. So you guys take care of that business, and I'm excited to watch you guys for sure.
Appreciate it.
thank you.
Zach, let's talk about the Pitt game. A lot of experience on that offensive line. But let's talk about, let's be honest, that last possession, a couple of penalties that cost us and moved us back. That's a growing moment right there and a teachable moment. So what do you guys take away as a unit, from the mistakes and from the good things that happened and just kind of mesh together and grow as you start Big 12 play?
Well, you definitely can't practice, that kind of environment. So I think it was good in a sense to kind of, get that under our belts, and hopefully it doesn't happen again. And hopefully everyone, kind of relaxes in and kind of is used to it the next time we're in that situation where it's real loud like that. And I think it's a good learning point because we can't do that, and you never want to do that. But I think in a way it's kind of good that it happened the first game because I think we can clean it up for sure.
Get the first game jitters out.
Yeah.
And it's good that those are plays you can actually improve on. It's not like you're just some plays you can't. It was a false start. All you gotta do is just not move. So it's just plays you guys can progress in. So I believe y'all will be better next game.
For sure.
All right, Tony, let's talk about your performance. You were a workhorse out there. You had 16 carries, 71 yards. Just talk about your performance. I mean, we know C.J. Donaldson had more yardage, less carries, but you were really the guy shouldering many of those carries, many of those runs in that Pitt game.
Yeah, it was pretty. Any opportunity I was trying my best to make everything happen, but I was just letting the game come to me, getting what they was giving me. So, yeah. And CJ, I love the way he did it. He made most of his opportunities. He did a very good job, and proud of him. It helps me and motivates me to even go harder. So as a group and as a unit, it just make us more hungry.
I know that he, gave you a lot of credit and talked very kindly about you in the post game. What does that mean to you?
Nothing. It's just my job. That's my job to make sure the younger guys feel how they supposed to feel when big things like that happen. So
Yeah.
nothing. That's how it's supposed to be.
Yeah. That's good leadership. I like
Sure,
that.
I'm sensing a running back duo coming along. You know what I'm saying? You got the
Trio.
You got trio.
Quadro.
The whole running back
Yeah,
room
man.
deep. You have the quickness, quick twitch. CJ got the downhill running. I didn't really get a chance to see the other two running backs yet, just from just being at practice in the game. But I'm saying y'all deep in that running back group.
Definitely.
It's fun to block for him.
Yeah. I guarantee it's fun to run behind him too.
Definitely, most
Yeah.
definitely.
I saw a play. I think it was like the second play. You just straight up took your left hand, just boom. And I was like, "Yo, you've been doing that since first snap you've been here,
Oh, thank you.
and in high school." So,
Thank you.
yeah, playing with you and all that. So, I appreciate how you've grown as a person. I've only got a chance to play just 2 years with you, but just being in high school with you and watching you grow. you definitely have exceeded expectations.
I
And
appreciate
you
it.
have too, and along with a few other people. But just you guys definitely still have room to keep growing, and you will. You know, you're still young. You guys still have years left. How many years you got?
2.
2. You got.
I could play 3.
Yeah, so West Virginia football's in great hands, that's for sure.
What did y'all think about JT Daniels out there in that first game?
Oh, you battled. Yeah.
Toughness.
Is what you guys expected? I mean, you see him day in and day out in practice, but game time, was that what you thought you'd see out of him?
Definitely. You got to practice hard to play hard. So he did it all summer, all fall camp.
What about you, Zach? You're
Yeah,
the
it was
one-
definitely impressive to watch. He stood in there, took some hits, and still got the ball out there. So I mean, especially because I don't see everything on the field all the time, but when I turn back on the film, it was pretty special to watch, to see some of the things he did that I didn't see in person. But yeah, I mean, it was pretty special, I thought.
I like how he stayed in there and took a hit.
Yeah.
There's a lot of quarterbacks I'll try to roll out or take a sack by getting on the ground. He stepped up in that pocket knowing someone's going to come and release that ball. So that's respect. And you guys are just going to keep on improving every game. We saw a lot of good things in the first game, despite the loss. Either way you turn on the film, you guys give credit where it's due. You guys handled your business. It just came down to about 3 or 4 plays. Like the coaches, they say that all the time. It's not just 10 plays. It's really 3 or 4, especially at this level. And then when you get to the NFL, it's even less. It's just margins for just like 1 or 2. So them plays are fixable. And you guys are going to get the job done, that's for sure.
Definitely.
So you're playing Kansas, Big 12 opener, coming off an emotional loss, an emotional build-up to that game. Are you excited to start Big 12 play like in week 2? Like, is this good to get focused? Like, okay, this is what we're going for. I mean, we lost to Pitt. That stinks, yes, but you guys are going for a Big 12 championship.
Right.
That starts this Saturday. Are you glad to be opening up Big 12 play this early after a loss? Do you think this could be a good thing for you guys?
Yeah, I think it could be kind of, or like Coach Brown said last week, it can kind of be a turning point for us. So, at the end of the day, I'd want anything. I wouldn't want anything more than to beat Pitt. But at the end of the day, to get to the Big 12 championship, you got to win Big 12 games. And it's not that game's not important, but to get where we want to go, we got to win Big 12 games. So, really, right now it starts. This is the most important time is winning Big 12 games. So,
What do you think, Tony?
Yeah, I agree. Like after the loss, we treating everybody like Pitt now. So I feel like we ready for some Big 12 ball. So to start off right now is even better after that loss.
Yeah, no doubt. And an evening game, a night game.
Yeah.
How cool is that for you guys? We talked about this with Coach Lesley, and you said it kind of stinks to sit around all day, but then it's kind of fun to play underneath the lights. I mean, what do you guys think about that with your home opener being at night?
I think they said it's the first night game we've had at home in 4 years. So that's going to be special because I haven't played in a home night game. So that's going to be fun for me at least. Yeah.
Stage is set once again.
Yep.
And it's a night game.
Yep.
People are going to be there. People are going to be tailgating all day. It's going to be just like last week. West Virginia fans going crazy. And and it's a true home game this week. So just stage is set. Perform.
For sure.
So Kansas has some weapons. Defensive end Lonnie Phelps, he was a Big 12 Defensive Player of the Week. They've got some weapons on this team. They blew out Tennessee Tech 56-10. What do you know about this Kansas team on the offensive side and defensive side that you've learned so far in this short week leading up to this game?
That they're disciplined. Like they do what they coach to do. Like I think they had 0 penalties last game or something like that, 1 or 0. But they're a disciplined team, so they're very coachable.
Yeah, I think they were the least penalized team last year in the Big 12. And they play hard. They're disciplined, like Tony said. So definitely a good opponent for us.
Yeah, and a lot of times, I mean, let's be honest, no disrespect to Kansas, but they're not typically very strong in the Big 12. But like Darius said, they can knock off some people. They knocked off Texas in Austin last year. They can surprise you. So I don't want to say this is a trap game by any means, but do you feel like you have to really be on your toes because people are probably expecting, oh, well, West Virginia win. You guys can't say that or feel that. So do you feel that you're having to make sure that everybody is on the same page and you do not overlook Kansas?
Yeah. And just like y'all said, like that's Big 12 ball in general. Like last year, everybody was beating everybody. So you guys stay on your toes every game. So not just this one, but from here on out, we on our toes. So
Yeah, I think you just have to prepare the same way every week, no matter who the opponent is. I think it's really in the preparation. As long as we all prepare the same and then come out the same every week, I think that's the most important thing.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah, when you guys handle your business, you guys are best team in the Big 12 by far. I'm not gonna speak for like in the country because I don't know what goes on outside of the Big 12. But just from being with y'all got the tools to be the best team in the Big 12. You just gotta just stay disciplined, like you said. They had 0 to 1 penalties. That means the margin of error is just that much smaller. So eliminate those penalties you had last week. The self-inflicting penalties. There's gonna be mistakes. Mistake-free football doesn't exist. There's gonna be mistakes somewhere. But at the end of the day, you guys just like you said, just be more disciplined than them and want it more, and everything will take care of itself once you do that.
Definitely.
All right, let's switch gears just a little bit. Tony, we were talking about this before we came in here. Your TikTok presence is like unbelievable. How did you have over 140,000 followers?
Yeah, something around there.
Yeah, how does that happen? What I mean, should we make a TikTok right now? Can you help our TikTok?
Yeah, I'll try to help y'all, but
I need some help.
it's just posting related videos that I post football videos, so it's a lot of football fans, so they relate to it very well, and I'm in their shoes, so I know how football players feel. So I just post things that relate to our little world, and they love it.
Yeah, that must be pretty cool that people are like really locked in, and because I mean, some of the TikToks out there are not very productive, but yours is productive.
Yes,
Zach, I know we talked about this in the spring. You like to do woodworking. Sure, that's put on hold right now. But do you have any projects coming up? I think last time we talked, it's been a while. You were working on a desk, but what's in the fire for the woodworking in the future?
Right now,
when you have time.
Yeah, right now I don't have anything planned, or I'm not working on anything right now. I'm a little busy, but after the season, I'll definitely start working on some projects and stuff like that.
What about your downtime right now? I mean, how do you balance everything, both of you guys, and just make sure that you're fresh in the classroom, you're fresh for the games? I mean, how hard is it? Because the normal person has no idea everything you guys have to juggle.
Shoot, after August, there is no downtime. No.
Yeah. So I mean, when you get a little downtime, I mean, is it just sleeping? Is it just chilling? And just how important is that for you?
Just chilling.
Yep. Yeah, just relaxing.
Yeah,
just give your mind and body a little bit of a rest. And then go again. Pretty much, that's about all we get.
Because that's important for any athlete at any level.
Yeah.
I mean, you can't do football all day, every day. You got to have that break.
And people don't realize, the mental strain that college athletes they have to go through. You have football majority of the day, then you got to go to class, and plus you got study hall till 9:30 at night, and you got to wake up at 5 in the morning or 6 in the morning, do it all again. The mental strain that college athletes go through is insane. You don't never understand unless you go through it yourself. You don't feel like doing 85% of the stuff you got to do, but you got to do it just because, when you grow up, whenever you have a job, your own, whatever career you pursue, you got to do what you don't want to do. Right. And college just learns, how'd you learn that? Coach Mike in there, he teaches discipline. Every action or every mess up has a consequence. Yep. And that just goes back to real life. If if you're an adult, you don't pay your rent or whatever, there's a consequence of that. So he teaches you real life stuff that applies.
Right. Absolutely.
So it just prepares you.
So let's talk about on game day on a Saturday when you have a night game. Just tell listeners what you guys will do. What will happen Saturday morning, Saturday afternoon leading up to the game. You guys watch film. You guys have breakfast together. So for the average fan that doesn't know, for a night game, what you guys have to do in that daytime leading up to it, what will that look like?
We usually have a little walkthrough in the morning after we eat breakfast. Then we'll have since we play at 6, we probably won't have a long break. But last week we had a pretty nice little long break in the middle of the day to rest and chill and relax before the game, and we ate dinner and got on bus.
Yeah.
But I think we'll probably do the same.
Yeah.
Pretty simple.
It's a pretty straightforward day because you guys do the work, Monday
Tuesday and Wednesday
through Friday. So there's really not much to. If you don't know what you're doing on Saturday for the game, then it doesn't even matter. Right. So they know, it's too late.
Well, good stuff. Well, Zach Frazier, Tony Mathis, thank you so much for joining us on this edition of Climbing the Mountain. We wish you good luck. Big 12 opener. The road to the Big 12 championship is this Saturday. Gentlemen, thank you so much. Good luck. And thank you for watching Climbing the Mountain, brought to you by Encova Insurance and Country Roads Trust. We are West Virginia's name, image, and likeness team. You can find us on Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, and TikTok. Not as popular as Tony's TikTok, but we're going to get there. Thank you so much for joining us. We'll be back next week with another edition of Climbing the Mountain, getting you ready for Towson. But this week, it's Kansas, 6 p.m. for Darius and Amanda. Thank you so much for watching, and we'll see you next week. This Climbing the Mountain podcast is brought to you by Encova Insurance. Hard work and passion are critical components of any winning strategy. Count on Encova Insurance as your local team to provide peace of mind.